Good morning, Terraria players, and welcome back to the Anarchist mod for Terraria 1.2 update. In the last episode, we began the adventure, defeating many bosses who stood in our path and lecturing you on how this mod works. This time, we go all the way to hard mode, with a new 1.2 boss and a few more bosses on the way. However, I did say last episode that I'd show off a mech or two, but due to a lack of time to record, and the last video being 34 minutes long, I decided to make this one shorter as so not to bore you with an absurd number of boss fights. I'll save the mechs for next time. But now, here's a list of mods for this video. Now, in bite-sized package that's convenient for you to read. If you have any mods I should play, let me know. I do take suggestions. And now, let's resume this adventure in the Anarchist mod. To start off, I went right into fighting the Underling. Because of strict boss progression, Skeletron would be near immune to damage if the Underling was still alive. How do you fight Underling? His boss summon is made from worm food, some shadow scales, and some tissue samples. It has to be summoned at night. Now, with a bunch of enchanting done, I was ready to fight the Underling. Enjoy the fight. Underling down. Cool boss. Inside its treasure bag it had a weapon from its loot pool, its expert mode item, and its anarchy item. It does have a swag drop, but I'm pretty unlucky. Its expert mode item increased defense by 10%, with a minimum increase of 1 defense. Strong for tanks. Its anarchy mode increased your max life by 200, but taking damage reduced your max life. Don't worry, it comes back. It dropped a Dark Artist weapon for me, the Chaos Flame. It was a rapid-fire knife that had quite a lot of knockback. Pretty strong despite saying it dealt only 8 damage. Next up, to the Underground Tundra. Since the Frost Cell had been defeated last episode, new enemies and new drops awaited me. The ice crystals that had been dropping there were replaced with Chillic crystals. Functionally identical for other items, but they had some new recipes exclusive to them. Chill golems also now spawn at the Underground Tundra as well. They hurt quite a lot. They also drop wings, but I was unlucky with killing them. I'll get them later. When I returned from killing some, I crafted the Frost Cloak, a new infusion item similar to the Grim Cloak. I then made preparation for Skeletron, then challenged the Bone Boy. I lost. I went back to the drawing board, re-enchanting my gear. I got Smite 5 on my weapons, which did more damage to undead. I lost a few times more. And I did get a bit frustrated, so I used Heroes Mod to craft a worldwide teleporter system from my home to the dungeon. Then used Heroes to simply just swap the time so I, wouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for a refight. After another loss, I went back at it and won. Here's my successful attempt, now with an intrusive Heroes Mod menu I forgot to fold down. Enjoy. Skeletron down. Pretty tough fight. His Anarchy exclusive drop made it so you could press a hotkey to crit continuously for 5 seconds, but taking damage stopped it. It had a cooldown of 45 seconds. He also dropped Bone Marrow, a crafting material for a lot of important stuff. I then delved deep into the dungeon with a checklist of things I need. Cobalt Shield, Ancient Kunai, and some enchanted water. Got all I needed after a bit. A modded enemy called a Dungeon Mimic dropped most of what I needed, and Dark Casters dropped the enchanted water. Enemies inside the dungeon also dropped dungeon pouches, which could grant bone marrow, Nazars, bones, and money. When I returned from the dungeon, I got ready for the next modded boss, the Corrupt Spirit. I crafted its Anarchy summon, then crafted the Bundle of Balloons. Favorite accessory obtained. Now, let's take on the Corrupt Spirit. Enjoy the fight! Corrupt Spirit down. Its Anarchy mode item allowed you to hit a hotkey to increase your damage reduction for a few seconds, but all damage you deal is halved. Weird. It also drops some Ethereal Cloth, a crafting material for the Knight's Edge tier weapons. I then crafted the Midnight Shuriken, which was a Knight's Edge tier but for Dark Artists. It was made from the Shadow Dagger, Mandarinia, Fire Drake, and the Ancient Kunai, as well as some Ethereal Cloth from the Corrupt Spirit. Next up, I made the Anarchy summon for the next boss, the Crimson Stalker, the Crimson variant of the post-Skeletron modded pair of bosses. Here's the fight in full. Enjoy! Crimson Stalker down. Its Anarchy mode item allowed you to build up a rage charge when you take damage. Pressing a hotkey allowed you to release the rage, letting you deal more damage for a few seconds. It had a 45-second cooldown. It also dropped crafting material that was similar to the Ethereal Cloth from the Corrupt Spirit, but for Crimson variants of all the items. I crafted the Vampiric Infusion, a new infusion item that combined the effects of the Tome of Vampirism with the effects of the Necrotic Infusion, allowing you to hit the infusion hotkey to increase your damage. The damage scales with enemies' defense. And now I begin the prep for the Wall of Flesh. I went down to hell, farming fire imps for enchanted lava, which was needed to make the final pre-hard mode armor set for Dark Artist, the Lucifer set. After a while, I was able to craft a full set. Its set bonus gave you the ability to have your stats boosted and heal when on fire, not taking the fire damage. It also granted a revive to 50 health when killed with a 2-minute cooldown, and it also gave 40 max Arcturum. I crafted the Totem Soul Link equipment, which changed your totem from a placed object to an AoE that stayed on the player, so you always got its effects. Pretty strong item. I made a double obsidian insta-bridge from Fargo's Mutant, then went down to hell, ready to face the wall and proceed into hard mode. Here's the fight against the Wall of Flesh. Enjoy this final fight against the final pre-hard mode boss. I said final like 5 times. and thus the wall was defeated and hard mode began. Inside its bag I got the occult emblem, demon heart, and its anarchy mode item, which increased your stats in light and dark areas. Of course, one last thing before I wrap up this episode. I crafted the Flame Spark boots, a modded upgrade to Frost Spark boots that I could have actually made a while ago. Now, let's talk upgrades made. I went from Dark Armor to Lucifer Armor. For my weapons, I went from the Fire Drake and Shadescale to the Chaos Flame and the Midnight Shuriken. As for totems, that's unchanged. For equipment, I added the Totem Soul Link, Vampiric Infusion, and the Flame Spark boots to my arsenal. And now, we proceed into hard mode, starting next episode. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next week's video, as well as other Anarchist guides. I'll see you all in the next one. Blade Burger out.